guys, I'm Layla. Welcome to raidlore stories. Today's lore story is going to be for Ginro the Stork, who happens to be one of the Doom Tower champs. So I hope you guys enjoy his story. With the rise of the Mikage autocracy, the feudal system had governed Yukai for generations crumbled. The lords and nobles of the kingdom were all either executed or fled, and in its place, a central regime was established. Though nothing ultimately prevented the Mikage from seizing power, there were some who resisted. In the western borderlands, Ginro the Stork was one such individual willing to make the sacrifices necessary to stand against the Mikage. The youngest child of a lesser house, Ginro seemed destined for a life of comfort and ease. Few among the nobility expect him to make much of his life outside of marriage, yet Ginro wanted to earn his status through his own achievements. Foregoing his family's wishes of betrothal, he instead spent his time diligently training with the spear, owning his technique so that he could wield the weapon with deadly precision. When the newborn son and heir to one of Yukai's major noble houses was abducted by bandits, Ginro saw the opportunity to prove the righteousness in his decisions. For 5 days, he hunted with little food or sleep, tracking the bandits to their hideout in the Cloudspire Mountains. There, Ginro waited until the dead of night, and when the moon was at its highest, he slipped into their camp and slit their throats before they could even draw their weapons. He took the captive infant upon in his arms and delivered the baby safely back to his family. For this deed, he was pronounced a Ginro the Stork and gifted the decorative mask and feathered armor that became his signature. In time, he married a daughter of that same house, and together they had a child, Sana. When the Mikage started their purge of Yukai nobles, Ginro managed to escape the initial slaughter with his wife and child, though the rest of his family were all massacred. In the verdant Sioux Hills, he took up his family's crest as his last heir, marshaling his surviving loyal forces. There, he refused the call to bow to his new masters, sending back their messengers without their heads, while planning his retaliation. Over the coming weeks, others who had escaped heard of Jinro's resistance, and his army swelled. As more exiles joined him in the plan to fight back against the Mikage was vigorously debated, it became clear that one course of action was favored: an all-out attack. One great effort to rid Yukai of the Mikage, or death and glory trying. Knowing that the Mikage would want to crush any nascent rebellion swiftly, the exiles decided they had to strike first and fast. The date was set for the ramshackle forces to march on Shizuoka, the city the Mikage had chosen as their first seat of power, on the first morning of the new moon. The evening before their departure, after many sorrowful farewells, the soldiers' families were sent away to the Cloudspire Mountains for their safety. Ginro sat down with his daughter Sana to wish her goodbye, the finality of the moment gripping both of them tight. Her tears glistened in the moonlight. She gifted him her doll, telling him to always keep it with him so that they would never be apart. He kissed her and attached the precious gift to his belt, and later slept full of fear and uncertainty, but steadfast in his belief that he must stand against Sirath's forces. Ginro awoke, gripping his spear tightly when it was still dark. He lay in silence, waiting for dark to arrive, until his waiting was interrupted by screams and the clash of steel. His camp was being attacked. He burst out of his tent, launching himself into a storm of blades, screams, and blood. Wearing his spear in a frenzy, he cut down scores of rampaging Mikage demon spawn, all the while attempting to rally his troops. As countless more demon spawn joined the bloodshed, Ginro fought with all his might to resist the hopelessness and despair that was spreading. Even as his warriors around him dropped their weapons and begged for their lives, he fought, knowing that as long as he stood, the glory kingdom of Yukai would never fall. It was this tenacity, this will to face down evil, that prompted the Arbiter's intervention. Appearing before Ginro just as opponents finally surrounded him, she offered to place his soul into a shard, so that he may survive and face down evil once again someday. Knowing the certain death awaited him, should be refused, and that was the only place to see his daughter again, Ginro accepted, vowing to help create a better world than the one she had to endure. Okay, so what I do like about this story is it does explain about the Arbiter, which is nice. That one I do like. Basically, it explains how he ends up in the Doom Tower. So because of this, that's when the Arbiter intervened, and how he ends up basically, like I said, waiting in the Doom Tower, right? Guys, drop me some comments down below on what you think for the lore story for Ginro the Stork, and thanks so much for watching.